Loves, Renee here, coming to you from my personal home kitchen. And today we're going to do a little artichoke love. Now, these are some prickly pears, so to speak. They can be challenging to work with, but it's so worth the effort. So you want to be very careful as you prepare your artichoke. And what we're going to prepare today are stuffed artichokes. It's a traditional favorite that's kind of fallen out of favor in terms of what you see on menus, but it's a delectable treat, and so I'm going to show you how to prepare that today. The most challenging part of preparing this dish is in fact cleaning and preparing your artichoke. And so as you can see, we have some tools going on here. We have a sharp knife. You want to make sure your knife's very sharp. I have some kitchen shears that are going to come in handy, and I also have a paring knife. And so the first thing I like to do is pull off those tough outer leaves. And usually pulling off the first layer is sufficient. And so we're going to pull that off here. And then the next thing we're going to do is cut off the stem. And you're going to cut it off all the way up to the very base. Do not be alarmed, folks. Yes, I am left-handed. My mother talks about me. She hates to see me handle a knife. But you want to make sure you're safe. And despite how it may appear to you right-handed folks out there, when us left-handers grab a knife, we're perfectly capable, just as you are. And so you see I've cut it off completely at the base, okay? And I'm going to just knead it up a little bit, only because I like to see it a little neater. There we go. And so the next step is going to help us as we finish the preparation and clean it out, because these leaves are really sharp, okay? So the first thing I like to do is go ahead and cut off the top, which will be about a ½ inch or so. And you want to make sure you have a nice sharp knife, because they are tough, and you want a clean cut. Okay. And so you see I've cut that off. And then I'm just going to take and put a little lemon juice on there. That just helps with the fresh factor. Okay. Then the next step I like to do, some people do it in a different order. I want to go ahead and trim my leaves, because ultimately we're going to be working to getting to the center of this. So you may have a few of the outer leaves that still have those sharp spines on the top. And you're cutting off about a ½ inch of those as well. And you're just going to take all the way around and cut those off. And again, this is the most time-intensive part of this whole preparation. And you want to make sure your shears are sharp. Mine seem to be in need of sharpening, but we'll get through it. Okay, I think I've gotten most of them. Okay, and there's one more right there. Alright, so now we want to get to the heart of the matter, haha, pun intended, because we're going to pull back these leaves and get to the choke, the center of the artichoke. And as you get in, you're going to hit those purple leaves, some of which you may not have gotten the tops of, so be very careful, because these leaves, the tips of them are very sharp. And you see I'm just pulling them back because I want to get to the heart of this artichoke. And I cut this one pretty low, so I'm not encountering a lot of those sharp spines. And it's here. Put some muscle in it and pull it out, because the leaves, before you steam these, because we're going to steam these after we stuff them, they are tough, and so you got to put some elbow grease in there. Okay. To the center, you see I'm encountering these purple leaves. I'm pulling those out, and I'm putting them aside because this meat right here, I want to hang on to those because I can use those in other recipes. But my goal, again, is to get to the heart because we're going to stuff these. And we are almost there. And you see as we get to that center layer, we're encountering that fuzz. I call it the fuzz, but it's the choke. And this is a plant that protects its heart. And you see all those spiny layers. These little purple leaves in here are sharp to the touch, so you want to be careful. But once we pull them all out, and as you can see, we've exposed to the center, you see I'm encountering these purple leaves. I'm pulling those out, and I'm putting them aside because this meat right here, I want to hang on to those because I can use those in other recipes. But my goal, again, is to get to the heart because we're going to stuff these. And we are almost there. And you see as we get to that center layer, we're encountering that fuzz. I call it the fuzz, but it's the choke. And this is a plant that protects its heart. And you see all those spiny layers. These little purple leaves in here are sharp to the touch, so you want to be careful. But once we pull them all out, and as you can see, we've exposed the center, and you see that fuzz going on. So we want to actually remove that because we don't want to eat that. And we're going to stuff the center. And so as I get there, I'm going to use my little paring knife and start pulling that out. And once I've actually loosened it all, I'm going to rinse it. Once you get her completely cleaned out, look, I called her her. And I actually employed the help of a spoon, actually, to help with that as well. But once you get that completely cleaned out, this is what it looks like. And you are now at the heart of the artichoke. And I'm going to squeeze a little lemon juice in there. As you can see, the minute the air hits it, it starts to brown a little bit. And we didn't get our seeds out. But just a little lemon juice in there just to preserve the breadcrumbs. About a cup of that. And we're going to add all of the parsley. And just a dash of sea salt, about an eighth, maybe a fourth. A couple of twists of pepper, equivalent of about a fourth a teaspoon. And you want to get that mixed, get it mixed up going on here. And now I am going to garlic as well. And that's one. And these cloves are kind of small, so I'm probably going to use all of them. So that's one small clove. And I love the garlic. So it really is going to be a matter of taste. I like it because it's an excellent anti-inflammatory and it just tastes so good. About a half a cup of grape tomatoes. And I'm mixing them in. And I'm also going to leave a few out because I like pretty food. And so food is very much also about presentation. And so we're going to reserve some to make sure that they're strategically placed such that this is like quite gorgeous when I eat it. And because I like the cheese, I'm going to add some Parmigiano Reggiano. Isn't it pretty? And this is just the dressing, the stuffing rather. And then our next step is to actually stuff our artichoke. Portion size that I use is usually the equivalent of what you would need for, I would say, 2 mediums. One of this is large and the other one's small. But you see how I'm just stuffing the center. We have a stray leaf there. It's okay. And you want to evenly divide them between your artichokes. So I'm stuffing the center, Making sure I get that tomato goodness. And then I'm actually going to open up my leaves. I'm going to open my leaves as well because I want the stuffing throughout the whole artichoke, right? So you're just going to take it and shake it down in your leaves, making sure it all gets stuffed. You can see we now have our stuffed artichokes prepared. And then the final step is we're going to put it in a steam bath that we're going to bring to a boil first. So you want to put your artichokes to fit snugly into the pot together so that they don't fall apart as they cook. And I have about, you want to say 1/3 of the way high, covered with water on the sides, as you can see. You don't want to completely cover them. You just want them to kind of cover the base about 1/3 up to the top. And then I'm going to hit them with a little olive oil on top as well. Okay. And then we're going to bring that to a boil. Once it boils, we're going to turn it down and then let it simmer for about 45 minutes. You can see it's now boiling. So we're going to turn the heat down and we're going to let it simmer for about 45 minutes. The goal is that when you tug on the leaves, they should pull out easily and your leaves should be. Now we have our artichokes stuffed and they're technically done, but because I like mine a little brown, I like it toasted, I'm going to slide it in the oven under the broiler for a few minutes. And there we have it, our stuffed artichokes. Gorgeous. Have a great weekend, loves.